So a few years back, we made some antique muzzleloading propellant using sodium nitrate. Now, sodium nitrate is and can be used as a substitute for potassium nitrate when it comes to antique muzzleloading propellant. And at the time, we got pretty good results. In fact, I'm pretty sure it was faster than the potassium nitrate powder that we were making at that time. But a lot of things have changed since then. We use brass media when back then we were using lead. We mill stuff for at least 36 hours, generally 48, just to make sure everything is really incorporated, where back then we were doing 24. I decided that we'd try this again. The biggest reason is because when we put that video out, I had several people tell me in the comments that due to the molecular weight of sodium nitrate versus potassium nitrate, that the ratio had to be adjusted. Typically, the ratios we run are 77-13-10. That's 77% potassium nitrate, 13% charcoal, and 10% sulfur. But I had several people tell me that if I wanted to run that ratio, it would need to be 65 or 68 point, or 60, whatever. It's right here. We rounded up to 65, 13, 10. So what we did is we took some of our sodium nitrate. We did refine it because this stuff is prilled. We refined it the same way we do all of our potassium nitrate, just to try and give it its best chance for success. We used cotton bedsheet charcoal. And if anybody remembers, that gave us really, really high velocity. In fact, at the time that I'm filming this, that is still the highest velocity powder that we have made. So we refined the nitrate, we used cotton bedsheet powder, and we made one batch at the incorrect ratio of 77-13-10 and another batch at 65-13-10. Both are milled in our tread ball mill using brass media for 48 hours and compressed to a density of 1.75 grams per cubic centimeter. I got so many comments about the ratios and all that stuff that I figured this was something that we should revisit. Now, I am not a chemist and I don't play one on TV, so I'm not quite sure why the molecular weight being different doesn't equal the weight in grams, because 65-13-10 does not equal 100. So I'm sure you guys that are chemists can explain that to me in the comment section. This ended up going a little bit different as far as the firearms and how we usually do things. We usually test my Kibler Southern Mountain Rifle in .45 caliber using 50 grains, a .440 round ball, and a 20 thousandths patch, and each shot is primed with the same powder it is charged with, and that is all the same. But the Uberti Remington New Model Army, we used 25 grains and a Kerr conical, because I am completely out of 4.54 diameter balls because I'm in the process of switching to 4.57. So last weekend at our monthly muzzleloader meet, I shot up all of my 4.54s and I haven't got my 4.57s yet. So for that, we did 3F Swiss and both of the sodium nitrate powders, and not in that particular order. We also put a couple shots through my Thompson center just to see, because the sodium nitrate has a very slow open air burn rate, and it really makes shooting them in a flintlock kind of a pain in the ass. As far as the ratios go, we did light some off on the floor just to see if there's a difference. Okay, so we have some of our sodium nitrate powder. This is the 77-13-10 ratio, or as the chemists keep telling me, the incorrect ratio.
Yeah, slow open burn as usual. Nice,
very orange.
Very orange, yeah. Looks like a high pressure sodium bulb.
Yeah, this is our correct molecular weight at 65-13-10. That definitely looked.
Does that burn a little faster?
That seems. And it certainly looks like the correct 65-13-10 ratio has a little bit better flash rate time than the incorrect ratio of 77-13-10. So we're going to do things a little bit different today because I am out of 454 diameter balls. So what we're going to do is we're going to use 25 grains like we usually do, but we're going to use these Kerr conicals. These are Era's Gone Kerrs. They weigh about 225, 227, something like that. So we've got 25 grains of our sodium nitrate bed sheet powder. This is the incorrect 77-13-10 ratio with our Kerr conicals. And we're going to aim at the bottom left, which I think is a queen.
Queen of spades.
Queen of spades, okay. .681.
That was at 12 o'clock.
.617. .621. .635. .669. .651. So that averaged 646. Not super powerful, I guess.
Yeah.
Usually,
But
they look like they're all pretty much going in the same spot.
yeah, they're just over it.
Just a little high. That's to be expected. Okay.
Now look at
1,
that.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow, you know what? That's not so bad.
You even got two through the same hole.
I bet if I was aiming right there, they'd all be in there. Well, maybe not that one, but close enough anyway.
Yeah, not bad.
Okay. I'll tell you what I'll do for the next batch. I'll aim right there. Okay, so this is our molar ratio. 65-13-10, 25 grains with a Kerr conical. And I'm going to bring my point of aim a little bit lower, see if I can't get him on that card. Now, any theories on if it's going to run faster?
I'm not going to bet on it, but I could see it going faster.
Well, you didn't answer my question at all.
I just said I could see it going faster.
Well, let's find out. .670. Had a little bit of a hang.
I saw.
Or did it chain fire?
Oh, no.
No, they're all there.
Okay.
.701. .711. .707. .716. .715. So that averaged 705. So yeah, that's about 50 feet per second faster.
Okay.
Interesting.
Hey, those chem guys, man.
Those interweb chem guys might know what they're
They
talking
might know
about.
what they're talking about, yeah.
Wow, okay, let's have a look.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
Still need to hold lower.
Yeah, you know what? It's still a pretty good group.
No, not too bad at all. Those Kerr conicals, they do really well as long as I lube them.
Yeah.
If I try and shoot them dry, they don't seem to go well. At least At least for me, they don't. Let's see. It comes apart. Wow.
Wow. Let me see that.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
You know, for being bed sheet powder, that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think the last time we did the bed sheet powder, it was after 6 shots. I think it was pretty crunchy.
That was the problem. It was fast, but it was kind of dirty.
Okay, let me clean this real quick. We'll put 6 shots of 3F Swiss in it,
so we have
just
a base.
for a baseline.
Yep.
And that'll be telling.
Yep.
Okay, so this is 25 grains of 3F Swiss with our Kerr conical. And I'm going to shoot at the jack on the right over there. And I wouldn't be surprised if this stuff is faster.
Think so.
It's tough to beat Swiss.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dang.
Wow.
892.
892. How about that for a big piece of humble fucking pie? $813. $815. $796. $819. $810.
Okay. Yeah. Swiss is good stuff.
Yeah, I need to be aiming like down here.
Yeah.
Because I'm aiming like right at the bottom and it's putting them all right there.
Yep.
What are you drawing there for? You think you're going to do another one? I don't know.
I thought we were going to do...
That's the... Okay.
Now, one thing...
This is why I compare my stuff to Swiss. This is why I always use Swiss as a benchmark, because...
Now...
Well, this is why.
But there is one thing I'm noticing.
Mm-hmm.
They're both high.
Conicals.
Oh, yeah.
Heavy conicals, that's pretty much the way it goes.
Yeah. Well, so much for that. That's a bummer.
It's okay. Man,
This is why we test these things.
I figured that with the sodium nitrate, let's see what it does in the rifle, I guess. But I figured with the sodium nitrate and the bed sheet charcoal,
I figured
this stuff was going to be right up there with Swiss, and boy, am I mistaken.
Wrong.
Trouble's going to be holding this thing on target enough to hit that card. We're going to shoot at the top left one, yeah?
Yes, sir. I got it aimed at
can't tell what it is from here.
Ace of Hearts.
Oh, okay. What? That's a red one?
Yeah.
Boy, it sure looks like a black one from here, but I'll take your word for it. Okay, so here's shot number 1 with the sodium nitrate powder, bed sheet charcoal, 77-13-10. And this is going to look really lame. $16.77, and I don't think I even came close to hitting that card.
Yeah, actually, you came really close. In fact, you might be right on the edge.
Oh, lucky me.
Bottom left corner, I can see light through it.
Boy, this reminds me of the old days.
With Pyrodex.
Pyrodex.
Shooting Uncle Bob's brown vest with Pyrodex.
Like a noob. Yeah, it smells different too.
Oh yeah. Big time. And it's easy to notice. Like, it's obvious it does not smell the same.
Yeah, that's that bedsheet charcoal.
No. Hold on, I gotta go put the target back up. It just fucking failed. don't know, man. You seem pretty good at that. Whenever you pull the trigger on that thing, you're like a bronze statue. I don't think you're gonna flinch.
That's the trick, isn't it?
That's
okay.
right.
Here's shot number 2.
That hit it.
I don't know. Did it?
Yeah.
17-14. Okay.
All right. Yeah, actually, it looks like you went through the bottom right.
You can see that far away.
Well, I can see the light coming through it. If there wasn't light coming through it, I wouldn't be able to see anything, but...
I'll take your word for it. We'll find out in a few anyway.
Yes, we will.
It felt better in the Remington than it does in this. Okay. Shot number 3 with the sodium nitrate 77-13-10. Oh boy. I don't think that one was even on the paper.
You
I see it right there.
Okay.
1678. Ugh. Okay. Last shot. Hopefully I don't yank this one that bad. I'm pretty sure I didn't even get the other one on the cardboard.
I don't see any new holes, so...
Same. Way over.
Yep.
1701.
Yeah, that's me jinxing you. No, man, you're like a bronze
Oh yeah,
statue.
you can hit it
never
every
move.
time. It's got a 5-second delay. You'll be fine. Well, at least the 2 that I got on there look pretty good. So that averaged 1692.
Lame.
Pretty lame.
That's lame.
All right, well, we'll clean this thing up here. I got to go get my cleaning jag.
Yeah.
So this is the bed sheet charcoal, right? Which was pretty dirty, and I'd say that's pretty dirty.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem as bad as it did when we had the good old potassium nitrate. I mean, yeah, I was loading a little rough after 4 shots, but
Yeah, but
not terrible.
I don't think any more rough than the potassium was.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Yeah, that's pretty freaking dirty, man.
It's pretty dirty,
Yeah.
But the real bummer is that the last time we did potassium nitrate and cotton bed sheet charcoal, it was 1890 or something,
yeah.
1889.
Yeah, it was over 150 feet faster than this.
Yeah, so not super great.
Yeah.
I mean, unless something miraculous happens with this other stuff we're going to try next, the 65-13-10.
I don't exactly have my hopes up.
I don't either. But if we see 100 foot per second increase, we'll be around 1800.
Yeah.
Which
we'll be in the high 1790 something. Or
Which,
maybe even 1800.
So now we have the sodium nitrate powder 65-13-10. Put my earplugs in before I get yelled at. If I put my earplugs in, I can't hear how bad of a shot you're going to tell me I am. Shot number 1.
Oh, no.
Well, ain't that a bitch? That actually flashed off faster than the other stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, come on now. $16.27. shit. This was supposed to be better.
What the hell? And by the way, that was a horrible shot.
Of course it was. I wouldn't be surprised if I didn't even hit the cardboard.
No, you did.
Oh, that's better than the other ones then. Shot number 2. 65, 13, 10. $17.48. That first one is after I do a deep clean like that, it's always a little lower.
Okay.
So let me just keep going.
Yeah. We'll do 3 more.
If it's not so filthy where
yeah.
I can't load it. Okay. Shot number 3. $17.43. Okay. Well, it's faster than the other ratio,
Yeah.
but it's not faster than potassium nitrate. We'll try and get one more after this. I don't know.
I don't know if we can make it, man.
It'll be hard. Okay, shot number 4.
Well, that flashed off real quick.
Well, quicker. 17.33. Let me see if I can't get one more through
right.
it. Come on, baby.
There we go.
Ta-da! Okay.
Last one.
Shot number 5. $17.27.
So what's the average even with that low shot?
17.16 with that extremely low shot, which I think we'll
Bring us
we'll
up
forget.
Yeah.
Because cold, clean barrel, no fouling shot, you know, that's something we run into.
Let's go check it.
Yeah, that stuff flashes faster. Not that it's fast, but it's faster than the...
I wouldn't say it's fast enough.
Wow, that is really interesting. That definitely makes a difference. It makes a difference in how it flashes off. It makes a difference in velocity by probably 100 foot per second in the rifle and 50 in the...
I don't know about
pistol?
100 in the rifle.
Okay, well, we'll look.
Yeah, we'll check.
Wow, okay. Okay, not horrible, but not great either.
Yeah.
Do you want to try it in the Thompson Center? Just put a couple shots through it?
Sure. Why not?
Okay, so I have my Thompson Center loaded up with 80 grains of 3F Swiss with a 20 thousandths patch and a 5.30 ball, just to get a number off of it with the Swiss, and then the correct ratio sodium powder, just to see how it does. $18.76.
Okay.
I'm cutting that thing off. I'm cutting it off. Every time I fire this thing, I get it right here on my cheek. Just
I want
so
you to know. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so now we have 80 grains of our 65-13-10 sodium nitrate powder, just to see how bad it is. $17.65.
I was close.
Boy, it's can't touch Swiss, not with this shit.
Yeah.
No, sir. Well, I got to admit, I was hoping for better, but I guess I've seen worse. So, if there's one thing I think we can conclude from all of this is that the correct 65-13-10 ratio performs better across the board than the 77-13-10 ratio. In the pistol, the 77-13-10 averaged 646 with a max spread of 64. The 65-13-10 averaged 704 with a max spread of 46, which is about a 50 foot per second increase in the Remington, which is considerable. But when you put it up against 25 grains of 3F Swiss, we have 824 with a max spread of 96. So even if you want to get rid of that one high shot at 892, that still is 100 foot per second slower than 3F Swiss, which is why the benchmark for all of my powders is Swiss. If you were to compare this powder to 3F GoX, probably would be neck and neck, maybe even just beat it by a little bit. At least the 65-13-10 might. In the rifle, our 77-13-10 sodium nitrate powder got 1692 with a max spread of 37, where the 65-13-10 sodium nitrate powder averaged 1738 with a max spread of 21. So again, just shy of a 50 feet per second increase. The biggest thing I noticed with the correct ratio and the flintlock is that it's almost tolerable to use, meaning it flashes off halfway decent to where you can put some rounds on your target, where the 77-13-10 ratio burns like a fuse. It reminds me of trying to use Pyrodex in a flintlock. It's that bad. And I think I only had 2 hits on there. Well, there was one that just touched the top left. But either way, pretty bad. So I think it's safe to say that the chemistry guys out there were correct. That definitely did improve it. But it's not better than potassium nitrate. For example, if I were to use 50 grains of 3F Swiss in my Southern Mountain Rifle, it would be mid 1800s all day long. So about 130 feet per second faster than we got with the sodium nitrate powder, the better sodium nitrate powder. Which is why I only took 2 shots with the Thompson Center. The first shot was 80 grains of 3F Swiss. The next was 80 grains of the sodium nitrate 65-13-10. And it has a 100 foot per second difference between the sodium nitrate and the potassium nitrate. Well, 3F Swiss. Maybe I shouldn't assume that that's what Swiss is using, but I'm pretty sure that they're using potassium nitrate. So it does not appear to me that sodium nitrate is a better, more powerful oxidizer. Not when it comes to muzzle loaders, anyway. The reason why sodium nitrate is tricky when it comes to black powder is because sodium nitrate is extremely hygroscopic. The trouble with sodium nitrate is that it will continue to take in moisture until it is a soggy mess and will not go off at all, where potassium nitrate will pretty much settle at whatever the ambient humidity is. Now, the way we've combated this is with all of my powder. As soon as I'm done glazing it, I put it in the toaster oven for at least a couple hours at about 165 degrees to bake off any moisture. Now, typically, when it comes to potassium nitrate, after it cools off, I throw it in a container and it's good to go. If you live someplace where you do have a lot of humidity, we do not have very high humidity out here in the Southwest. If you do live back east or wherever where there is a lot of humidity, you can buy the little desiccant packs that like come in a thing of beef jerky and just throw that in there with your powder if it really concerns you or bothers you. The sodium nitrate, being that it is more susceptible to humidity, we toasted it in the toaster oven, and we stored it for 3 days in our vacuum chamber like we do with the rest of our components that we use for powder. Typically, I wouldn't leave it in there for too long, but we left it in there for 3 days, opened it up, poured it in the containers. Well, they're already in the containers with the lids off. Anyway, put the lids on, took it out to the pasture, and gave it a try. Now, I'm sure I'm going to get plenty of comments because I'm addressing this at the end of the video. So I'm sure I'm going to get people telling me about how, it's probably, too humid and the powder's wet and that's why it's performing bad. I don't think it's had enough time to soak up enough moisture to lose 100+ feet per second. If I had it sitting with the lid off in my garage for a week, then maybe. But the only time it's even come in contact with the outside air is when I opened it up to put it in my flask, or I pour it in my measure and then pour it down the barrel. I just don't think that's really what's going on. So to sum it up, can you use sodium nitrate? Yes. Does it work all that great? Not really. But it can, I guess, if it's the only thing you have. So as usual, folks, if you thought this video didn't suck, do me a favor and hit the like button, consider subscribing, and if you did think it sucked, go make your own damn video.
Okay, well, we just got humbled by Swiss there big time, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.